What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and today I get to take you on a walkthrough tour of my first ever fourplex. Now, I purchased this property over 7 years ago, and today we're gonna open up the books, we're gonna dive into the numbers of the property over the last 7 years, and I'm gonna get a walk through a unit for the first time in 7 years. And so fingers crossed. With that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys, it's really fun to come back to these properties and one, see how they've changed, two, see that they're in good shape, and three, get to just kind of relive all of the exciting things that have happened over the last 7 years. It brings back a lot of positive emotion seeing the first ever fourplex I bought. We've got a metal roof. This is the same metal roof when we bought it, and it still looks very, very nice and very new. Now, this is one of my few stucco properties, and overall the stucco's held up really well. The other thing that's really cool about this property, a couple years back, I had some spare time in the summer, and I came out and helped rip up a lot of the trees that were out in this area. We created more parking right here, so we had good parking stalls, and made a nicer lawn where originally it was just a bunch of weeds and trash and other stuff. The quality of the property and the shape that it's in has not changed hardly at all since I purchased it. Stuff like this, it always is something you know you're gonna have to take on, but that honestly may have looked like that when I purchased the property, because that's not the actual base. They've put that over just to make it look nice. This used to make me more nervous until I saw them build my house, where they put the concrete foundation and then they come and they do this over the top, and mine on my brand new house is already cracking. So the other thing that's really cool is when we purchased the property, there was a massive stump and all of this was weeds. We've got it all taken care of. It's nice, new, fresh grass. It's been very well maintained. It just makes me happy to see a property that when I purchased it, it wasn't in as good of shape as it is now, 7 years later from purchasing the property. That just, I don't know, gives you the feel goods. The last time I was in here, it didn't have the new carpet, didn't have the new flooring. So the cabinets are here. It looks like a lot of them have been painted. The cabinets and countertop, I think, have always been here, other than the fact that the cabinets are repainted. There's a brand new oven, and it looks like a newer fridge. And it looks like you brought in a lot of appliances too. You got it ready to rock and roll. And each of these 4 units are 1-bedroom apartments. So you can see just a nice layout, got a nice new fan. It even looks like this back in here has all been freshly painted. So bathroom looks like they're still getting the shower curtain up from getting in here, and the floor is all ready to rock and roll. The one thing I noticed right away is that the shower handle is missing. So that's something we need to get fixed up. All right, guys, this property and running through the numbers gets me super, super hyped. So I paid $190,000 for this property. I put 25% down. Just for some quick math for you, 190,000 times 0.25. That means that I put down $47,500 to purchase this property. Now, when putting that down, I got a loan for the rest of the $140,000 or whatever it ended up being. A couple years later, or a little more than a couple, maybe 5 years later, this specific property I had bought a little further after the duplexes, and my interest rate had gone up a substantial amount. And so on that one, I didn't have the best interest rate. So I actually refinanced in 2020. I was able to pull a couple $1,000s out of the deal and refinance at much better rates on another 30-year term on the property. When we did that, we had a total borrowed amount of $140,600. Now that made our payment $850.07 every single month. So to run you through that with the tenants, we ended up having 2 at $750 and then one that rents the other 2 units at $1,000. So in total, that puts $750 plus $750 plus $1,000. Should be able to do that math in my head, but $2,500 total that unit is bringing in when I paid $190,000 for it. First off, I want to take out my 24% in expenses. Now, that's a combination of management, capital expenditures, just general expenses, and I also plan for a 7% vacancy. Planning for all of those things, that gets me at 24%. That's a worst case scenario, and I don't think I've ever actually spent that much, but I like to run those numbers to set aside that much for worst case scenarios, and that's why I built up very large reserves in all of my properties. So if we're gonna take this $2,500, we're gonna multiply it by 0.76%. That leaves $1,900. If you flip over to what I'm paying on the mortgage, it's $850. So we're gonna subtract that 850. That includes my mortgage, which is principal and interest, and my taxes and insurance. When you take it out, that leaves $1,050 in cash flow. You multiply that by 12, that puts us at $12,600 a year in cash flow that property is bringing in. So the original down payment was $47,500. So if we go and take the cash flow, which is $12,600, we divide that by $47,500, that leaves us with a 26% cash on cash return. And that's not the real return. The real return is even higher than that. That's with us taking out a worst case scenario of expected expenses on that property.
All right, guys, if you love this deal and you want to find one just like it, make sure you use the code Black Friday for an extra $100 off my real estate investing course. The link is down in the description, and the course shows you everything you need to know from finding the deal to running the numbers to getting it closed.
All right, guys, that was so awesome going through this unit, seeing it all renovated, couple little things, getting that tenant in there that we found. It looked like the knob on the shower needed to be put back on, but everything else was looking awesome. These units are so cool to come back and see because they're in even better shape, again, than they were when we purchased the property. When we purchased the property, all of these units were rented between $350 and $450. They're just 1-bedroom apartments. We've since renovations upstairs and downstairs raised those rents on these 1-bedroom apartments to $750. And again, that's not immediately, that's been over the last 6-7 years since I've owned the property. So $750 here, $750 here. We could be getting $750 upstairs and downstairs on these units. However, that tenant upstairs has been there forever. And once the tenant downstairs moved out, she actually wanted to rent it. So we gave her a deal where she's paying $1,000 for both the upstairs and downstairs, and has been an extremely awesome, great tenant for a long period of time. Now, not only am I pumped on the quality of these units, but I'm actually way excited about how well this property has performed over the last 7 years. I also love seeing the good shape that it's in compared to what it was when we purchased it. So this has been so awesome. It's so fun for me to go through these properties. I'm gonna continue to go through all of them so that you can see every unit I own of my 180 plus units. But for my first fourplex, and all the mistakes I've made over the years, it's so exciting to see how good a shape it is and really what a cash cow this property's been. And if you enjoyed this one, make sure you remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos. Thanks, guys.